Bubba, what's this? Morning, morning, morning. It is Thursday. It is the 2022 version of April the 7th. And you're back here with me, Sean Butler, at the Spurs Talk Show. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Tell you what, before we get going into what is a relatively quiet day of news with Tottenham as we look to put our sights forth towards Saturday evening's massive game in the top four race between Tottenham and Aston Villa. Before we do that, I just want to say a big shout out to all the crew who came onto the live stream last night. It's the first one I've done in like a month or something for a variety of reasons. I was a bit ring rusty. But there were 10 people that came on. 10 at different stages over the 3 hours. 5 of those made their debuts. Massive shouts out to those. They are Eugene from Spurs Suasion, Bob Spur from Bob Spur TV, Iggy from Tottenham Away, Alan Harris from Shelfside Spurs, and Mark Cousins, who is, I believe, a co-host now on Tottenham Tantrum Gold. And then there was 5 others, the 5 regulars, people that have been on before in various frequencies. We had Dave, the Irish Hotspur. We had Brian Daigle. We had Barry from Shelfside. Kuva 99, and Danny the Bun. I don't think there was anybody else. If there was, I'm so sorry, but I think that 10 was the right amount. What an eclectic panel. It was great. I was ring rusty. I set aside an hour to go over the player ratings from Newcastle, which, you know, ended up taking 2.5 hours because I'm particularly badly organised, especially when there's 10 people on the stream. It's a difficult beast to keep on schedule for. So we had to put all the other things I wanted to do back, like the Aston Villa preview. That ended up not happening. So we're going to do that either today or tomorrow, simply because there's not enough time to squeeze it in otherwise. But anyway, thank you to everyone that came on. It was a great show, very fun and entertaining. And a particular appreciation to the new guys who came on. Hope you guys will come on again. Yeah. Anyway, that being said, what else is happening? Well, I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of news today, so I'm not going to spend too much time doing this. Just showing that I'm walking down a new little track today. Got the canal to my right. Some lovely houses on the other side of the canal, but we can't access them. They're like private property in like some enclosure or something. Beautiful houses. Anyway. So me and Bugsy were talking about what do we talk about today, and she thought that I should talk about this little bit of news that came out from a fellow on Twitter. The name escapes me right now. He did a little piece about the 4 left-sided centre-backs that Tottenham are interested in signing one of them this summer to try and improve on Ben Davies. I thought that'd be an interesting talking point, so I'm going to go with it. So the 4 names mentioned were Gvardiol from Leipzig, Bastoni, Schlotterbeck, and Sven Botman. Now, straight off the bat, guys, all 4 of those names, you know, take your pick. They are all phenomenal players, all in their 20s. A lot of them youngsters that are just stepping up. Tell you what, they're all 6'2" or higher, which obviously is super important. You know, I spoke about this last night on the show, and I've spoken about it on different channels recently, and I'm not the only one talking about it by any stretch, but I think what Tottenham need to look for in a centre-back, obviously apart from just all of the assets that every centre-back needs to have to play in that position, ideally a left footer who, positional awareness and all that stuff. But, we have in Christian Romero arguably a world-class player, certainly in the making. Certainly we've got a world-class defender that's in the making. Certainly who's far further ahead and far more accomplished with his technique when the ball is on the ground than people like Virgil van Dijk were at his age. And you could argue that he's more talented when the ball's on the floor than Virgil van Dijk is now. I know that's a strong statement, but I think he's that good when the ball is on the floor. Aerially, he's got a lot of work to do. His timing of his runs isn't fantastic. His concentration sometimes and tracking the man, and I'm not just aiming this at his feet, because Dyer and Davies are, I think, slightly better than him in the air, but they all need to improve, right? If we don't concede goals from set pieces or aerial threats, we don't really concede. So if we could fix that this summer, if we could improve on our aerial defence, then we would be a very difficult team to beat next season. And when you've got the offensive threats that we have at the moment, plus with one or two additions in midfield and in the wing back slots, we would be a force to be reckoned with. But speaking specifically about the centre back stuff, at the left centre back, all four of those players that were mentioned were, I think Sven Botman's the tallest. I think he's 6'5". Real talent, right, and brilliant in the air. And so not only would that improve just the aerial strength in one position, but I think that his, you'd hope that he'd also be able to for that skill set, that natural ability to time the run, to meet the ball at the highest point, to track players correctly. You hope that would rub off on Walk. You'd hope that would rub off on players like Romero, and develop them into the world-class players that they absolutely are and can be. So of the four, listen, take your pick, right? They're all class players. I'd have any of them. The other name that was mentioned in the article was Pau Torres, and he turned us down last summer. The journalist who wrote the article said he doesn't think that option would be revisited. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be. If Tottenham finished top four, when we finished top four, then being able to offer Champions League football in the best stadium in the world, with the best training facilities in the world, in the best city in the world, from a footballing perspective at least, I don't see why anyone wouldn't want to come to Tottenham, especially when you have the chance to play under a manager like Conte, play alongside players like Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, and with a fan base that's re-energised and galvanised into believing that we can go on and create magic over the next 2 or 3 years. I think that any one of those players would be lucky and fortunate to be playing at Tottenham, and I don't think they turn their nose up to them. I know that there's a couple of rumours that some of those players are already earmarked to go elsewhere within the leagues they already are in. I think Bastoni might be staying in Italy, or so the rumours have it. But listen, if we can get any one of those, I think it would be a dramatic improvement on what we have. That said, I love Ben Davies. Spoke about him a lot last night on the show. I think he flies under the radar. I feel like he's the wind beneath the wings of some of the other players in the Tottenham defence. Never. He's trouble-free, a lovely guy around the dressing room apparently. Very highly thought of. Shush. Very highly thought of in the Welsh dressing room and at Tottenham. He goes about his business. Always puts in a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10 week in, week out. And like the mistakes that he's made are usually mistakes that are like that they're slip ups or literally slips, which no one's trying to slip. Sometimes when he has made those mistakes, when he has slipped at the wrong time, it's cost us. But those are just unfortunate things that if it happens once or twice, it's outside of your control. And so I feel like he's a player that would be unfortunate to be replaced, but he's the obvious candidate to replace because he's never going to be a world superstar. He's never going to be a monster for Tottenham going forward. I think he's always going to be that kind of solid 7, which is great. And I hope that he would shush Bugsy. I would hope that he would stay and be happy to be a part of a useful, frequently used part of a squad that is going places. And that's what we need to look for. If we're going to make these improvements, we're going to have to be asking certain questions of certain players around whether they want to be a part of something. Stop it! Stop barking. Sorry. Whether they want to be a part of a squad that's going places, but they can't be guaranteed, as much football as maybe they've had this season. Players like Dyer, players like Davies, players like Doherty, Sessegnon, Reguilon, Bergwijn, Lucas Moura. I don't mind any of those players staying in the squad as long as they we get flooding here. I'm going to get through that without soaking my feet. We're going to go back, Bugsy. I don't mind Dyer and Davies hanging around if we can improve on those 2 spots, and then pick players like Rodon and Sanchez. We can move on. If we improve the overall quality of the squad by dropping some of the current first teamers down to squad status, and then getting the squad status players like Sanchez and Rodon, and either loaning them out if there's youth and time on their side and potential that hasn't yet been realised, loan them out, or if there's not, if there's value on the contract that we can try and withdraw, then move them on and see what we can get for them. People like Sanchez, there's probably 25 million quid of a player in there. I'm not sure when his contract's done. And Rodon, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 10 million, 8 million, I'm not sure. What are your thoughts? Also, what are your thoughts on the 4 players? Bastoni, Botman, Gvardiol, or Schlotterbeck? I don't mind. Take your pick, but I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below. How long have I been talking for? 13 minutes. I'm going to go for another 5, and I'll leave you guys to your afternoons. So yeah, that's that was really the only kind of news article that was out this morning that was interesting. As I say, the journalist suggested that all 4 of them are going to be fraught with difficulties, and Pau Torres is obviously Pau Torres. Almost called him Tau Porres. And that he probably wouldn't be revisited. We definitely need to improve in that left-sided centre-back position. No disrespect to Ben Davies. We've got a lot of competitions to play in next season, and we've been relatively fortunate in the last 6 weeks to ride our luck with a squad that is very good first 11, and then beyond that it gets very shaky very quickly. Danny Kyriakou made a really good point last night reminding the panel, reminding me at least, that next season the 5 subs rule comes in. You know, and who's that going to help? Well, it's not going to help teams like Tottenham who have got, you know, only 2 options on the bench that you'd use anyway in Lucas Moura and Bergwijn. You know, the other 4 or 5 options are basically there just to make up the numbers unless an injury happens. And the same can be said that the 5 subs isn't going to help the teams like Burnley's or, you know, Southampton's who are, you know, equally thin as you go through the squad. It's only really going to help teams that have got a lot of depth, like Manchester City, Liverpool, you know, Manchester United maybe, and certainly Chelsea. So Tottenham have this opportunity now to be able to go out, improve the squad, improve in certain player positions. Obviously left-sided centre-back is one. Probably you could argue that we could improve on Dyer. So a central-sided centre-back. Someone who's very tall, very good in the air. Definitely need a new left-back, because whichever one you like or don't like, or if you like both or don't like both, we've got 2 left-sided two left wing-backs right now who are so injury-prone, both of them, especially Sessegnon, but Reguilon's been injured 4 or 5 different spells this season. You can't rely on them. You can't rely on them. So we definitely need a new left wing back, at least one. A right wing back, obviously. You know, Emerson's probably the first one to get out the door. Doherty would be ideal. You know, I wouldn't mind Doherty hanging around and staying as a squad man as long as we improve. But you could make the argument as well that if we want to go on to win the Champions League, win the league in a couple of seasons, and who knows what would happen in the Champions League, then is Doherty really the calibre of player that's going to help you do it in the long run? You know, no disrespect to the guy, his form has been phenomenal, but form is temporary, class is permanent, and I'm not entirely sure if he's of the class that we need to move on to that next level. And obviously you need centre back, you need more depth in midfield. Take your pick there. You could have a box-to-box player, a creative player, another defender, another sort of defensive midfielder. You could argue we need three more midfielder types to add to the squad, while still keeping Skippy, Højbjerg and Bentancur. Because if you have 5 options to bring off the bench, then you know you might as well have a bigger quality depth within the squad that not only can you draw on when there's injuries or when there's fatigue, but when the time is necessary to change the formation. You know, having a squad that only fits a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, it leaves you limited, right? You know, sometimes you're going to play against teams where it's not working, and then you're not going to need to go to a back 4. You're going to need to switch things up in the midfield, and you know, therefore it's important to have players, you know, maybe like a Christian Eriksen, who doesn't necessarily fit in the 3-4-3, but could work into something else, a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-5-2 with a slightly more advanced midfield guy. So, look, I don't even know if what I'm talking about makes sense. It's been going for 18 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. Just thought I'd get something done today. Let me know in the comments, who would you like out of the 5? Botman, Schlotterbeck, Guardiola, Bastoni or Torres? Let me know what your thoughts are. If you haven't already, please hit the like button and the subscribe button on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. And you will see me on Instagram, on Twitter and on YouTube, or at SpursTalkShow. Hashtag no spaces. Hashtag all one word. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a wonderful Thursday afternoon, and you'll see me at some point on the channel going through the Villa preview with some familiar faces, no doubt, from the community. If I don't see you before Saturday, come on you Spurs, and hopefully next time we speak we'll be celebrating getting 3 points closer to a top 4 spot. As always guys, as always, bye bye.